Hey guys, and welcome back to the United Stand. I'm here to talk about the Champions League game that's coming up on Tuesday, tomorrow to be more specific. It's one hell of a game. It's a very crucial game. There are two games left before the international break, which is the game tomorrow against Atalanta and then Manchester City. But we got to take it game by game, right? And this game is crucial on many levels. We're currently on top of the group with 6 points, but this group is exceptionally tight, and that young boys defeat is something that we need to recoup for. And this game is what will more or less help recoup that, because if I look at the next few fixtures, right? If we do not manage to get a favorable result, and by favorable I mean win, I don't mean draw. If we don't manage to get a favorable result in today's game, in tomorrow's game, that leaves us with Villarreal away and then Young Boys at home. So while I believe we can beat Young Boys, Spanish teams at home is a very difficult task for any team, to be very honest. So I would probably take that as a draw for the best, and that reaches 10. But that 10 is just the number. It's generally, with the way this group is panning out, you can't really make a prediction whether 10 will guarantee you. 10 gives you like a 70% chance. So getting a result in this game, I wouldn't settle for a draw, because the Villarreal game, you don't know what may happen. You have to go ahead and win it. And I think we have the team to do that. We saw that in the reverse fixture at home, where even though we conceded 2 goals first, we still managed to win the game 3-2. It was always in our control in terms of possession, in terms of attack, in terms of as a game in a whole. It was just defensive errors that cost us, and we need to ensure that doesn't happen in this game, because winning this will more or less guarantee qualification. Moving on to what I think the 11 would be, but more importantly than the 11, what this means for Ole. I think if a win against, let's hypothetically say, if in the next 2 games he doesn't manage to get 4 points, his job is still on the line. And ideally, those 4 points would be something like three on Champions League, one against City. No one's expecting him to go out there and beat City, but if he manages to get anything less than 4 out of 6, he could be out of a job come when the international break ends. So he will go all guns blazing. The only question that I have is, will he stick with the 3-5-2 system, or would he go with the 4-2-3-1, which worked against Atlanta in the second half, Atlanta, whatever. But I think, the more I've spoken to people about this, I think the 3-5-2 could be the system that he works on for a short period of time, and that could be a short-term solution. I see him playing that against City as well. So if he's going to do 3-5-2, this is what I would personally go with. De Gea in goal with Varane, Lindelof, Maguire. I don't know, Varane against Spurs just brought that calmness to the team, brought that stability in defense. There were moments where he had to close down Son and Kane, and he actually looked left and right to see where the players were and then closed them down, which just shows a different level of eliteness. I would go with Luke Shaw on the left. I've been really disappointed with Luke Shaw. I think he's gone back 2 seasons. He took one step ahead last season, a very big step, and he's just gone backwards ever since the Euros final, which isn't a good sign. So I hope he can recoup that old form, because we remember the cross he put in for Ronaldo in the last Champions League game, which helped us win that game. And he has players up there in the form of Cavani, in the form of Ronaldo, who can do that. He just needs to get his crossing ability done and get himself defensively sound. And on the other side, it would be Aaron Wan-Bissaka, so that would be my back 5. I think Wan-Bissaka had a great game against Spurs. He was defensively sound. He was making those runs. I remember he made a great block of Son, even though Son was offside. He still ran back and made that block, and that's what we need. Working off the ball, being a team as a whole, taking responsibility. So I think that would be the back 5. My change would ideally be in midfield. I would probably go for McTominay and no, I would actually go for. I would go for McTominay and Donny van de Beek. The argument can be made for Fred and Donny as well. I just think McTominay is a workhorse. We want Donny to be more of the attacking player. We do, and with Fred, we're going to get a mix of both. We're going to get a workhorse attacking player, but in this case, Donny is a workhorse attacking player. 3-5-2 fits him very well. I see no reason why he cannot play in that position. So I would go with Donny and McTominay. McTominay can be, slightly behind, even though we're playing a back five. He can be slightly behind and then push the ball ahead. Something he did very well against Spurs. There were moments where he was trapping the ball and making that transition very quick. Reducing the gap between the forwards and the midfield. That is essential. I know Gary Neville came out after the game and said against Liverpool, the gap between our midfield and our forwards was almost like 45 meters, and a bus could go through, and that's hella right. I mean, against Spurs, it was 30 meters. There was quick transitions. The attackers were playing on the counter. It was perfect, and I think that suits Manchester United, and we should play that way. So I would go with Donny and McTominay. I think defensively we're very sound, so having that midfield will not harm us that much. I would go with Bruno in the number 10 because we don't have any other option. Pogba's obviously injured, and Bruno put in a very good shift against Spurs, where I would also credit him for the second goal because he managed to get the ball off their midfield, managed to keep control of it, managed to distribute it. So it was a great performance by him. And up front is where the question lies. So personally, I would want to see Cavani against Manchester City, the Cavani-Ronaldo partnership, because age and experience does play a key role. So personally, I would go with Ronaldo and Greenwood. I think Greenwood is that out and out striker, and if you give him the ball in that position, he will create that finish and make us win the game. So I would go with Ronaldo and Greenwood as our striker. That being said, I think the team needs to understand that substitutes will be made, and it's bound to happen that players come on and off. So if the situation arises, I would want to see the same substitute that took place in the last game, where Ronaldo came off for Rashford, because if we're winning, there are going to be empty pockets. Rashford's pace will be used brilliantly. If it's 2-3-0 up, let's close the game, bring on Matic. If we need another goal, get Greenwood off Cavani in the 60th minute. I want to see those proactive changes being made by the manager. I'm really interested in seeing how he plays this 3-5-2, because he's played this 3-5-2 system thrice against Chelsea, City, and now Spurs. I know Spurs is not that great a team, and our fan base could be overhyping it, but he's played the system thrice and he's won all three times. So there's obviously something about the system that works. And it is the count, and we have the players for it. So why not just play to our strengths rather than to our weaknesses and try to be a team that we're not, right? I mean, this is the time where his job's on the line. Let's play by our strengths. Talking about the opposition, I think the opposition are going to press. There's no way they don't. So our defense needs to be, focused as hell, to be very honest. They can't be wayward around the place. Maguire needs to know that his shit can't go wrong tomorrow and on Saturday, because the last 11 goals we've conceded, all of them could be blamed on Harry Maguire. So he needs to understand that he's the captain. He needs to buckle up and figure that shit out. I think De Gea will play will have a handy role, but more than anything, I think we need to be careful of their press and of their style of play, because even if they're 2-0 down, they're not going to press. That's how they play. That's their DNA, more or less. They like to press the ball. They like to push the opposition. They want the opposition to make a mistake, and then they utilize that mistake. And set pieces is something that we need to be very, very careful with. But guys, that's what I think the lineup will be. Talking about predictions, I don't really want to give a prediction, but 2-0 to Manchester United. Don't know whether that'll actually turn out to be true, but 2-0. Hopefully Greenwood, and obviously it's Ronaldo's competition, so he has to score. But guys, do let us know what you think as to how the game is going to pan out, who is going to start for Manchester United, what the lineups will be, what the scoreline will be, whether what I said makes sense, that within the next 6 points he needs to get 4. So within the next 2 games he needs to get 4 points bare minimum to keep his job. What's your thoughts on the Cavani-Ronaldo partnership that you saw against Spurs? Do let us know in the comments below, and I will be there to respond to each and every one of you. Thank you. Have a nice night. Bye.